skill-based matchmaking? What is skill-based? What is skill-based? What is skill-based matchmaking?
Death by stereo. Death by stereo. So I never really do, the introduction of my video, like explaining what the video is going to be about. I kind of like to let the thumbnail and the title of the video to do the talking for me. But I really encourage you to watch this whole video. The reason why is because I'm going to break down what skill-based matchmaking is, how it's evolved, and there's a nice twist at the end of this video. I'm kind of explaining, being careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. So as my boy Daifu would say,
watch the entire video, don't be a bitch.
First, let's take it back to the beginning, man. As a player of COD Ghosts, Black Ops 1, a few other old titles, I can definitely reminisce and say the skill-based matchmaking, quote-unquote, as they said was based mainly on rank and connection, the internet connection to the server, to the game. Now, why do I say that? Why do I say that's how it was? Because I was a noob player. COD Ghosts was my first new title. I think I started with like a 0.5 KD and finished with like barely a 1.0. And through the time that I played that through its life cycle, obviously I'd be in, lobbies with players my caliber mixed with better players. I mean, I remember playing S&D with my, again, 0.5, 0.9 KD, whatever it was back then, and getting lobbies teaming me up with 0.3 or 3.0, 2.5 KD players. Hell, I was even playing a match of hardcore domination with a friend, and we lobbied up with the Marka J, who was, and at the time, I believe he was at least a 4.5 to a 5.5 KD straight stomping. And back then, when Call of Duty really started to grow and get popular, you've heard the term over the years of pub stomping. What is pub stomping? Obviously, it's a player that is very practiced, very well versed in the game, knows the spawn logic, has, fantastic aim. They can usually hold a lobby down by themselves and literally just stomp out the lobby, man. That's what pub stomping is. That's where it started. Hell, that's where Call of Duty YouTube started back in the day. People didn't even have thumbnails. They just posted badass gameplays, and, if people had the good vibes, good personality as well, they blew up. Guys like this, the Marka J, obviously Swag, he's coming up, in the world. Good old Thunder 402, Elite Shot, just to name a few, man. I was just putting a few up on the screen just to make my point. But that's where, a lot of these players nowadays remember, they never claim to be professional players. They claim to be filthy casuals. They're pub stompers. That's what it was, man. And, modern skill-based matchmaking has definitely changed, the outlook of this. They are playing sweatier than ever, just to get some decent gameplay, man. Now, Advanced Warfare. This is a very significant title for this video, and the reason why I can say as well as many other people that is the first time as a COD player I can really say skill-based matchmaking really showed its ugly face in the game, man. Everybody who had, a 3.0 KD in every other COD was carrying a 1.5. I don't know how in the hell, but I still somehow managed to carry a 1.0. But most guys, like I said, whoever had a 3 KD, a 4 KD, cut that in half, man. Everybody noticed it. Everybody was like, what the hell is going on, man? I can usually stomp the lobby out year after year. I'm talking since COD 4 on. They're like, what's going on, man? Like, something's up. Like, why is this so sweaty? And that's really a time when I can recall that this subject, skill-based matchmaking, really came into play. And also, that is the first year that loot boxes came into play. But even at the time, I do remember having a lot of fun, trying to get the character skins, like the royalty camo. But at the time, with loot boxes first coming out, it didn't really seem to be problematic. It was more, just trying to grind for those DLC guns, like the ASM-1 Speakeasy and, the Battle Obsidian Steed. And nonetheless, the other guns that you could still get were still playable. They're still usable against these guns. So to me, it wasn't really a game-breaking feature. But as we know, as we come into the future of Call of Duty, things have definitely changed. This is where it gets interesting. Black Ops 3, the loot box system that's probably remembered by most people as being the worst non-consumer friendly thing in Call of Duty history. I can remember playing that game the full year and not getting a single DLC gun out of the supply drop system. Unless, I remember finally, it might have been after the first year, that I bought some COD points. I just wanted to see if it would work. As soon as I bought them COD points and hit the loot boxes, bro, I started getting DLC guns. Automatically, man. As it seems, Activision found a big fat loophole in the system to basically legalize gambling in their video games, and they made millions upon millions in revenue off these microtransactions. And obviously, after a while, between YouTubers, Twitch streamers, and just fans alike were outraged at this system. It was the fact that they had to literally gamble for these DLC guns and pay lots and lots of money. And of course, all the YouTube content creators would get them right up front because they would spend $1,000 on it just to get it because they knew they would make it back in ad revenue.
Get to the point, Eric.
Okay. So a brief period of time that loot boxes went away, the community was kind of happy until Modern Warfare 2019 was released with the ultimate skill-based matchmaking algorithm that we have ever seen. You thought it was bad back then in Advanced Warfare. Well, now let's break it down. What is skill-based matchmaking in Modern Warfare 2019 and Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War? When you log on to COD Modern Warfare 2019 and play a multiplayer game, it is going to take into account your kill-death ratio, your win-loss ratio, your look sensitivity, the way you move about the map. Do you duck walk? Do you sprint? Do you constantly slide cancel? Do you jump shot? Do you drop shot? What kind of weapons are you using? Are you using meta guns? Are you using, very unpopular guns? What's your playstyle? Are you camping? Are you rushing? Do you have good aim? Do you have bad aim? It's going to take in all these things into consideration when you join into a Call of Duty multiplayer match. Not only that, if you do well or very poor in that match, the lobby breaks up and reevaluates these stats to yet again refit you into a lobby that they feel is best for you. Well, let's not say for you. Let's say to make the game even and quote unquote fair for everybody. That way, everybody gets participation medal and everybody quote unquote has fun. I think I could safely say that whoever's watching this video can agree that usually if you excel at something or you get better at something, it not only makes you feel good, about your endeavors in life, it makes things easier. So if I'm getting good at Call of Duty, I practiced, I put in the time, it's always going to make lobbies a little bit easier, which makes it in turn more fun because it's no longer stressful anymore. It is a little more fun because you put in the time, you put in the work to get better at the game. But with skill-based matchmaking, the better you get, the harder you work, the harder the lobbies get. The more toxic the lobbies get, the more stressful it gets, and the fun factor just dwindles away with every given time. Now let's finish this commentary off. Let's get one thing straight. Activision doesn't give a shit about good players. They don't give a shit about bad players. All they give a shit about is money, revenue. Now let's rewind back to the loot box system that I talked about before that everybody hated. Everybody said it was not consumer friendly. Everybody was tired of gambling for DLC guns for all their money, their hard-earned cash. They already paid their $60 for the game. They wanted a free DLC system. They wanted a consumer-friendly DLC system. But what does that mean for Activision? As you know, like I've said, they made millions upon millions of dollars in microtransactions over the years, and they were just loving it. But finally, the community spoke out. They got the message loud and clear that, we didn't want the loot boxes anymore. And of course, they disappeared and they brought in the Battle Pass, the Fortnite style supply stream, Battle Pass, whatever you want to call it. And now here we are. Loot boxes are gone. It's consumer friendly. You just buy the pass for $10. You get all the guns for free. You get the stickers. You get the emotes. You get the tracers, whatever it may be. All the free content that we were asking for several years through the internet, through Twitter, through YouTube, what have you. And what came after it? Skill-based matchmaking. All Activision cares about is money. They want player retention. They want every player to be happy. They want Timmy No Thumbs or the guy who just picked up the game to stay on the game as long as possible. Buy every battle pass, and if he sees a cool gun in the lobby or a cool skin, he wants them to buy it. But if they're not playing the game, they're not going to be buying anything. So in a traditional Call of Duty where there wasn't skill-based matchmaking, a lot of guys might have jumped on, got stomped out a few times, and gave up and just stopped playing the game. I mean, maybe back then they might even bought a map pack or something, but that's only $15. But now, if they get players to have retention on the game, they're constantly playing, upping their purchases on microtransactions. They're going to do that by bouncing the lobby. They don't want Timmy to get stomped. They don't want you to go off and go 40-0. They don't want to see any of this. They want money. You guys didn't want loot boxes? You wanted it to go away? Activision said, sure, it's going to go away. But we're going to get our money, son. We're going to get our money one way or another. And this is why they designed this advanced, crazy, skill-based matchmaking algorithm. It is all about money at the end of the day. They're not trying to make it fair for everybody. They're not trying to make it where everybody goes 1-0. I mean, that's what winds up happening most of the time. The point is to keep players on the game. They want player retention, whether it's good players or bad players. They want you on the game. They want your money. And this is the best way they found to do it. And of course, if you're an average to slightly above average player to even a top tier player, it's going to, obviously give you negative vibes. They don't give a shit about that. But the guys, the lower tier players, the hyper casual players that might usually, just throw the game out or uninstall the game or just stop playing the game after a month or so, now they're keeping them happy. Because if you're a 0.5 KD, 0.4 KD, you're not a very good player, which is nothing wrong with that. You're only going to be playing 0.5 KD, 0.3, 0.30 KD players that don't know what they're doing, that don't even know how to shoot the gun, and it's going to keep them happy. They had their casual match, they had a good time, and they felt so good, they bought the battle pass, or they saw this cool, character skin, or emotes, or something, and they paid their extra money for it. If it's only $5 here, $10 here, but if you have thousands upon thousands of people doing this, Activision is cleaning up an ad revenue. They've done said on Forbes and other, monetary sites, whatever, that talk about this subject, that they're making more money than ever, hand over fist, with this skill-based matchmaking system. They feel that the community loves it because they're looking at the player retention and their ad revenue. Or I'm sorry, their microtransactional revenue is what I meant to say. And it's through the roof. It's working out for them. They don't give a shit about the players. They just want the players' money. So guys, to sum this up, what's worse? The loot box system, to where you're gambling and, maybe have next to no chance to get the gun you want, or to have the sweatiest, strictest skill-based matchmaking system we have ever seen, but you get free shit. To me, honestly, I'd rather have the loot box system come back and give me a Black Ops 3 style, lobby balancing, skill-based matchmaking, to where it's still semi-casual, you can still have occasional fun. Sometimes you get stomped, sometimes you don't. You win some, you lose some, but you got your loot boxes. Or would you rather have the free battle pass, free DLC, but you're in a sweat fest every game? The harder you work, the harder your opponent, and it never stops. But guys, like I said, the theme of this video, this is what skill-based matchmaking is. You didn't want loot boxes, you didn't want the supply drops, you didn't want to pay the money for the DLC guns, to give them their cash grab. So they said, okay. They gave us skill-based matchmaking instead. It's a money grab. That is all it is. They don't care about the player base. They just want you on the game spending money. And it's honestly working out for them, unfortunately. So, like I said, the theme of this video is be careful what you wish for, because you might just get it. But that's going to wrap it up, guys. I'll just see you in the next one. Take it easy.